Hey guys, getting ready to go out tonight. Got some friends coming up, and we're going to go watch some wrestling. So I have a few minutes here before I have to get ready, and I figured, let's get this video shot. But basically, what has happened here is that over my years at YouTube, when the community was, still, really going, a lot of us used to trade back and forth, and there's a lot of guys that are still doing that who are newer to YouTube compared to me and stuff. And every now and then, out of the blue, I'll have a package sent to me, and that makes me feel really lucky. And these packages are amazing because, like, they seriously do come on, like, some of the days that they're just the shittiest that you can imagine. And then all of a sudden, you go to the post office, and there's this, act of kindness from somebody, just because, they're your friend, or they appreciate what you do on YouTube, or that's just how they are, which is always good. So it's because of that I've told a few people like Mercy and a few other people that I was going to make some contest videos, entries into their contest. And this is just to let you know I'm not going to do them. I've got plenty of comic books. My collection spans back to when I started in 1977, and what I kept around, inherited, before that from my uncle and stepdad and stuff. So I just have plenty, and it makes me feel kind of weird to get in a contest to win books when I already have them and stuff. I feel like there's other people building their collections, or who are newer to the hobby and haven't read some of the stuff that are in this stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to be entering any contests, so I apologize to people who I may have said I was going to, but really, let's just, I'm going to step out of the way there to give people better chances to win and stuff, because I got plenty. So what I've got here, and this was just a great thing to get. The great legend who comes at you live from Texas sent me some Fantastic Four books, man, with a very touching little note that he wrote with it and stuff. That I keep every one of those notes and stuff that I get. And let's face it, great legend, man. We're like, the way I kind of look at us like we're the Midnight Express, man. If we had like a mouthpiece like Jim Cornette, we'd be brothers from different mothers and all this stuff and everything like that. And we're both like, devastatingly handsome, So thank you, Dowdy. Here's the big haul, man. But he sent me a ton of Fantastic Four books, and it is my era from of the Fantastic Four. We're talking like from the time I saw the 70s cartoon where I was watching them on Saturday mornings, to some of these books were like what were laying around the house to what I was actually buying or reading back then and stuff. And a lot of this stuff is going to fill in some gaps, and then there's going to be stuff that I have doubles of, but he knew that, and these are his doubles and quadruples and stuff, and big Fantastic Four fan. So right here, man, Fantastic Four 201, right? This was around the time of the Saturday morning cartoon hitting and stuff, man. This is probably the Marv Wolfman, George Perez, Keith Pollard years and stuff, and even Byrne snuck in there a little bit before he took over the run. But this is from 1978, right when these were the besides this and the Marvel Treasury editions, this was my Fantastic Four and stuff, right? But I read the Kirby stuff. Don't get me wrong, the Stan Lee Kirby stuff my stepdad had, but this is what I was reading, man. So this is probably an underrated little era of limbo for Fantastic Four from there for a while, but there was some great stuff in there, man. So here's 202. Yep, and right there it says that see them on TV Saturday mornings, on NBC and stuff. And I'm not saying it was the greatest cartoon ever, but I enjoyed it. I'd watch that, my Space Sentinels and my Super Friends, and soon to be followed by Spider-Woman. Super Skrull, I love the Super Skrull. I'm one of those guys. You can follow the Super Skrull. But when John Byrne came on, John Byrne had a storyline that went from Fantastic Four to Alpha Flight to his Namor run, and you can actually, he would always bring in that character, and you would see the Skrull kind of, if I remember right, it seems like he kind of got a form of cancer, and then he got turned to energy, and then he was brought down, and then he was all subtle and all this stuff, and not subtle, all secretly doing things behind the scenes and stuff. But John Byrne, you can actually make a little trade of the Super Skrull saga there that John Byrne did with them from title to title. And that was the cool thing about collecting comics back then. You don't see that so much now, is that you just follow certain writers on books, and they would bring in plot lines that they didn't finish in another book. One of my favorite was a guy named Steve Skeets ended up writing Aquaman during the 70s, and he didn't finish the story, but something like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years later, he ended up writing the Namor comic, the first volume that came up, and in the last issue, it's secretly the Aquaman story, you know, that he finished up in Namor, go figure and stuff. Yeah, but there's like little things like that. Omega the Unknown was 10 issues by Steve Gerber, which I'm going to be doing a review pretty soon of, and he actually ended up finishing, somebody ended up finishing that story, not Steve Gerber, in Defenders like 76, 77 to finish up the story, because it was left on a big cliffhanger. This is one of my favorite stories, and yeah, it probably goes back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, the first arcs that I remember reading in comics was this one, the Sphinx story, the Sphinx, not Sphinxter, the Sphinx story, where everybody on Earth was aging faster and they went off into space, and this actually continued from the Nova series, which I think got canceled at the time. That's what I mean. Marv Wolfman was writing this, and they go off into space to ask for Galactus's help, but the thing about it is that there's a little bit of a time limit. They have to hurry up and find Galactus. Look at this. That means something. So this is a variant edition, 209. But they're aging, so they not only have to hurry up and find Galactus, but they have to, you know, do it before they grow old and die a natural death, you know. So, which was very cool. I think it's a Walt Simonson cover. There you go, some 70s Walt Simonson, starting to get that style we all know and love there, refined. But anyway, I remember reading this story, Clash of the Titans there. First appearance of Terrax in here during this run, now that I think about it. And Byrne would end up bringing him back. But and Byrne snuck in and did a few of these earlier issues before he got in there. And then I remember reading this one, and then I remember reading the Yesterday Quest, which I plan on doing a video of, in the Avengers, and that was John Byrne also, with Mark Grunwald and David Michelinie, I think that's how you say his name, and just, that was a really good Quicksilver Scarlet Witch story. And then the Justice League JLA crossover in the 190s with the Society of Secret Villains there, or Secret Society of Supervillains. Now we're into like the Limbo era, where these are some issues I don't have. I've kind of flipped through them at my buddy's house or something if they had them. Don't know a whole lot about these, but I'm glad to have them. I think John Byrne did do some of these issues, but also Bill Sienkiewicz came in and did a few of these issues, the art on the issues. And this is back when he was drawing like Neil Adams, before we had the Bill Sienkiewicz, where it was like that, just that, oh my God, I don't even know how to describe his artwork that came out on New Mutants before he hit big. But he was doing Fantastic Four and had a Neil Adams style, you know. Some Franklin Richards there, 223, 226. Love it when they brought in the giant robots. This was during when we were kids. They had the Shogun Warrior toys and Shogun Warrior comic book and stuff, and those toys were phenomenal. 2 feet of 2 feet of deadly plastic toys that shot hard missiles that would put an eye out. And Raiden, the one I had a 2-pound plastic fist that you could shoot 30 feet into the air and black an eye. I ended up blacking my grandpa's eye, and I still have a picture of it. I was such a little brat, you know, when times like that. Here we go. Anyway, coming up here, 231, and then bam, right there, John Byrne starts his run. This is the good stuff. This is the greatest run, in my opinion, since the Stan Lee Kirby era. You know, so he just came in and, you know, and John Byrne did a whole lot of little tricks on this, with the Fantastic Four, and I'm talking about stuff that he did behind the scenes to put out the book. This was excellent. I think this has a Stan Lee, Jack Kirby backup that was, it's not new material when this came out. This was the 25th anniversary, I think, 20th anniversary of the Fantastic Four, and it's got a little Stan Lee, Jack Kirby backup in it, which, you know, I can't remember. But anyway, this was the 20th anniversary issue. We're up to 236. Excellent. And this is where, to me, the book just kind of took off. He kind of took it back to its roots. Then he expanded on things and brought in weird aliens, played around. And there's a lot of stuff that you can see that were seeds of John Byrne plots, man. He played with size of an alien because of their gravity being different on the planet. he kind of, if you were truly alien, what would you look like? And it was an excuse to tell the story. And you saw some of that in, like, there's some things he did that ended up being planted into his Superman run years later, man. Started having some fun with the book, brought back Dr. Doom, even though he's not in this comic. Started playing, setting the seeds up for a new Herald for Galactus. This great stuff. But some of the stuff that he did is that he would get paid to be the writer, he would get paid to be the penciler, and he would get paid to be the inker on the book. And he's, kind of bragged here and there that what he would do is that he wouldn't pencil. He would go straight to inks and draw straight with the inks and get paid double for doing the job once, if you follow me there. No, there's no pencils, he just went straight to ink. And then he had a few issues where, just to show that he could do it, he did it with felt tip markers, and then he did the widescreen edition. And what I loved is that he was, he was famous. He was famous for his X-Men run, the Dark Phoenix, and leaving it, and came in and they got Terry Austin to do some of the ink. So you had a little bit of you had 2/3 of the great classic X-Men team doing the covers and stuff. Yeah, harking back to the Silver Age. And everybody really, there's Terex, he's back, bringing in Galactus and some Avengers, and I mean, he just really brought them back to royalty. Galactus, and all the stuff that he was doing, his goal was to beat the Jack Kirby, Stan Lee run. He wanted to do more issues than them, which I think was 101, and he was determined to do it. And apparently, what I'm gathering is that his first year and a half was just planting seeds for him to do these plot lines into the future. Like this Galactus story, Galactus coming down. They actually ended up making a cartoon of this in the 90s. They adapted this one into a cartoon a little bit. Brought in a few extra different characters though. And this I love this cover. I ended up plagiarizing this cover on a high school art project subliminally. Like, I did not just look at it and copy it. It was planted in my mind when I was like 10. When did this come out? 82 maybe? Yeah, 82. So I was like 9 years old, and then like, about 8 years later, I ended up doing this art project in high school. And one of my buddies, when I was in there, they were all pissed at me. I couldn't figure out why, and I didn't know what they were talking about. And then they brought in the comic, and I'm like, oh no. But anyway, he planted he planted seeds, man. He knew how to do the storytelling, to revisit, he would plant seeds, and then we would see what he sowed years later. Stuff like that. Always kept Doom in there. Didn't overuse Doom. He kind of brought, Doom back to glory. Yeah, this harkens back to a Fantastic Four story, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, where he actually shrunk the Fantastic Four down. They were living in like a little fantasy kingdom and stuff. Alright. Oh, I'm going backwards here. Excuse me. Yeah, and we got some Inhumans and stuff in there, so I'm wondering if these are going up where everybody's going Inhumans crazy thanks to that. Now this cover right here, you can go back to the Superman John Byrne run that he did. That is actually why he left the Fantastic Four. Something was going on around 84, 85. I just found out about it, this last year or two, because I'd heard rumors of it when I was, growing up collecting, but I never believed it. Turns out it was true. Marvel was about to sort of take over DC's books to ship them out and stuff like that, and John Byrne was already doing pages and stuff wanting Superman. And this goes back to Superman. This Gladiator was a version of Marvel's version of Superman, okay? And he even threw in a little Omac mohawk there, because John Byrne is heavily influenced by Kirby. But anyway, you can go back, and the first time that John Byrne ended up taking over Superman, his Man of Steel pages where he introduced him actually were stuff that he was giving Jim Shooter, from what I understand, the pages that he had lying around. He'd actually done those pages, a couple years before he actually got the Superman book at DC. Of course, Marvel never took over the books or ended up distributing them or whatever, but he still ended up using them. But he went back when Superman, he reintroduced the Legion in the Superman book, and you can look at the cover, and this would be Block, and he had Sunboy here, my gosh, Chameleon Boy, and Invisible Kid. He matched their powers to what was going on. I'm not sure if that was Chameleon Boy. I'm trying to think who stretched in the Legion. But anyway, he reused this cover, and Byrne recycles his covers all the time. And I freaking love this. To me, this is a Superman story. even though it's in the Fantastic Four, he kind of, he had Gladiator build, get a building and pick it up, just like Superman did, and Reed Richards is sitting there, this should collapse under its own weight. The physics of this are impossible. So you had the world's smartest man figuring out how these superpowers would work, and that's where the telekinesis came in and stuff. Anyway, 251. I'm talking way geeky. You just need to read it. Yeah, here's the widescreen. This came with tattoos. I don't know if they're in there or not. There we go. Yeah, this is the widescreen version. And Rob Liefeld, who does swipe. When I say swipe, he has taken pages and panels of John Byrne stuff and just copied them straight, in his X-Force work. He also did it with his Deathstroke work with George Perez. But yeah, he did a widescreen. This whole book is done in widescreen, where you would read it like this. You hold the book like this through the whole thing while you're reading it and stuff. Really good stuff. It's actually fun. Then he explores the negative zone. A lot of people don't like the floating heads covers. They crack me up. Great run. Don't remember much about this, but I'm pretty sure they're still in the negative zone. And Annihilus comes in, tapping it. And then we come back to where I said he was sowing seeds and stuff. Reed Richards helped save Galactus, and the universe, people in the universe sort of come in there and want answers, and they actually put Reed on trial. And that was quite the search for Reed Richards. He disappeared, and he's put on trial, the trial of Reed Richards for saving Galactus. Because if he had let Galactus die, billions would be saved. Because Galactus eats planets and everything like that. So they're holding him responsible for the murders, the people dying, for the fact that even though Galactus is doing it, Reed saved him and stuff. Now this book right here, man, this is a Fantastic Four issue I've run across a lot, where Johnny Storm supposedly dies in a car wreck, during drag racing and stuff, and makes no sense that he'd be by fire, and ends up the Thing flips out after Human Torch and the Thing torturing each other for years. Johnny Storm driving the Thing nuts and everything like that. It kind of explores a little bit about their relationship on top of all this. And then we have She-Hulk enter the fray. Now we're around the era of Secret Wars. I think Thing came home and caught Johnny and Alicia, Thing's girlfriend, making out. Yeah, now we're in the 80s. Love this cover. Love this cover. You can see how Byrne was, using them right. Then we're towards the end here, 269. Not towards the end, but Terminus was coming in, and Terminus ended up kind of popping up in Fantastic Four down in the Savage Land. So I can't remember if the Avengers book came first or this came first. So that's my stack of Fantastic Four. Thanks for sticking in there. Thank you so much. Go check out the great Legend. He's a great guy. And thank you so much, Legend. I love those books. I love those Fantastic Four, and I think and that's why you sent them. So thanks a lot, man. Guys, later.